When you say see yourself, what exactly are you talking about here? Are you talking about something surface level? Or are you talking about something that could span across skin color, ethnicity, culture, religion, things that people can share? Or is this just another reason to indoctrinate children with something that they weren't really thinking in the first place? Hey, what's up, Nerd fam? It's your boy Kashawn. I want to welcome you to Enter the Nerd. Today, I want to talk to you about something that I've been hearing a lot, not just in like comic book culture, it's not necessarily people who read the comic books, but this is nerd culture, popular media, and this notion about people, specifically kids, needing to see themselves in popular media to achieve some type of self-worth. And I really saw something that was really strange about this. I saw it was like a post where they were talking about this movie Encanto, which I've never seen before, by the way. I just keep on, every now and then it's on, it's on the TV, I scroll through like a Disney Plus app and I might see that, but I never actually watched the movie and I see like little clips. So I don't know what it's about, so this is not like a review of that or anything. But there's like this little kid who's like, a darker skin with like curly hair. People love his character. And funny enough, like my son looks like that character, right? Now, and like his cousins, like when they see that movie, they see that they're like, oh, he looks just like Ryland, my son, right? Which is okay. That's cool. They recognize somebody that looks just like their cousin. That's cool. Well, whatever, right? But then I saw a post where like this lady showed like her son who looked like the character as well. And it was like, he sees himself in the character. Like, this is why representation matters. It's like, do you think he's looking, goes, I see myself? Is that what happens? Like, do kids, when they see characters that could look similar to them, does it really give them a sense of like higher self-worth? Is that what they're doing as children? Or are they just watching stuff just to see if they enjoy it? So, my son was shown this movie and didn't even want to watch it, right? He saw the character, didn't even want to watch the movie. Like, he didn't care that the character looked like him. That wasn't the thing, right? He's just like, okay, I don't like this. But then Harry Potter got turned on, and he wanted to see Harry Potter because first of all, he likes owls. He saw the owls flying around, so he was enamored by that. But then like he saw the magic and the fantastical nature of Harry Potter. That wasn't a pun, by the way, even though fuck it. Fantastical nature of what happens in that movie, and he loves it. The magic, the wands, the goblins, all that stuff, and that's cool. And all the things that he watches usually are like that. They're colorful. They've got characters. They might be singing. This is what he's looking for. Now, if I show him a picture of himself, he'll be like, oh, hey, that's me. That's me. If I show a picture that could be someone that kind of looks similar, he's not going, oh, that's me too. He's just looking at it like it's a character because, I don't know, he's 4, and that's what 4-year-olds do. He's not injecting anything other than what he's seeing. And I think that's a really weird thing that we're starting to do that I think is really taking away the pure enjoyment of what kids can really be taking from, not just maybe media, but maybe from people in general. Because when they're around people, I guess we can start here. What is seeing yourself, right? Because if you look up any definition of self, it usually has nothing to do with your skin color. It's like an introspective thing. What makes you who you are? If you ask somebody who they are, it usually is not what you are, like what ethnicity are you. It's like, who are you as a human being? Like, what are your values? What do you hold important to you? And those kind of things can cross cultures, ethnicity, because let's be honest, racial or genetic, disposition, it's involuntary. We can't control any of that. However, who we are as people, who we hang out with, those are all things that we can control. That we decide who we are. We have a huge part to play in our own self-development. Are we, obviously, when it comes to environment, does that contribute? Absolutely. Absolutely. But in terms of who we are, we have a large part to play in what direction we go in. But for little kids, they're just like, this is fun. When they look at other little kids, they're not going, oh, there's a white kid who wants to do this. They're going, this is a child who is playing with toys and playing in the park. I want to have fun. Let's have fun. But for some reason, we're injecting like these adults who want to inject these weird ideas like, oh, you're seeing yourself. Your self-worth is gonna go up if you see someone of the same skin color. So it's all surface. And it's funny because some of these same people, if they see someone of the same skin color, then acting in a way that they don't, oh no, now that's not accurate. So which one is it now? Because now it's not just about skin color. Then it switches when it's like, okay, this person isn't acting accurate, and then it goes down a hill. We're not gonna go too much into that. But even using myself as an example, as a kid, watching, mind you, I'm 30, I'll be 31 next month. Just so you understand, like, what age group I'm around and like what I was watching. So I was watching Toy Story, like when I was a kid, right? And I saw Andy playing with his toys. I resonated with that because I had toys. I also made up my own storylines with toys that were completely unrelated. Having Spider-Man fight, Power Rangers and dinosaurs, all those things. I do the same thing. And that's why it immediately resonated with me. And Toy Story 3, I'm skipping that just because I remember Toy Story 3, like, it touched me because as an adult, I remember having to mourn the loss of my childhood. And meaning like you're growing up. And now it's not just about waking up and having Saturday morning cartoons anymore. Now it's not just about playing with those toys. And like, I remember like, when my mom passed, she had, a whole storage filled with my toys. Like just, so she kept them all. And I couldn't put them anywhere. So I had to kind of let them all go. And I had to mourn that because like with all that went tons of stuff. Like just, I really, like, that Toy Story 3 really got me, especially when he gave it to I was able to give some stuff away, and my son actually has a few of the ones that I had, so some things did get passed over, but it was just like an incredible amount. And I'm sure that stuff got given away to charity, which is great, so other kids can develop their own memories. And that's how Andy had to look at it too, like, now someone else will be able to enjoy him. But it's funny because you have this knee-jerk reaction to like mine, even though you're like 20 something years old. And I resonated with that. He didn't have to look like me in order for us to share those ideals. As a kid, me reading comic books, I saw characters that looked like me, didn't look like me. And do like me is me like having genetic similarities, right? Because just because you're black doesn't mean you're gonna look like me, by the way. Or if you're someone's white doesn't mean they look like all white people. But whatever. I wasn't looking for that. I was looking for what kind of characters they were. And that might have directly to do with how I was raised, because that's how my mother raised me. She raised me to look at like the content of what's being seen, like who are people, like not what, because the what means nothing. As we know, from the past, when people try to place an emphasis on the what and say that what the genetic disposition means something greater than it actually does, we've seen what that does to society, right? So I don't understand why we repeat that here and think that, we're repurposing it for ourselves, so I guess it's not. And now we're giving it to these children and they'll be able to have worth. And it's like, it's very cringy. And I think these kids are not understanding the difference between self and just the shell that all of us have that we were just kind of born with, versus just being able to just enjoy something for what it is. Enjoy your toys. Enjoy media. Right now, in terms of representation, if you're talking about, they have a film that takes place in Brooklyn, and for some, in 2021, there's like no black people in it at all. I get it, right? That doesn't accurately represent what Brooklyn looks like currently right now. But if the main character just happens to not be black, but there's other black people in it, that's not inaccurate. Like, it doesn't mean that, someone, if they don't have someone who is not a person of color as a focal point, that also doesn't mean that it's not a representation. Like, it's just so many things that people are so upset about when it comes to popular media, that I think it just takes away from things. Like, any character you can resonate from. And it goes on both spectrums. If you're white and you look at a black character and you're just staring at a screen, I can't resonate. It's the same thing. It doesn't matter. Like, it doesn't matter. Like, focus on who. What is the person saying? What is it? That's. And also, if two people are the same ethnicity, whatever like that doesn't mean that you're gonna resonate with them based off of, because they could be two different people, right? Just characters. And to be honest, even when I'm reading comic books, I'm not looking to resonate with the character. I just take the character for what they are. And if I resonate with them, I do. If I don't, I can at least understand, if it's well written, I can understand the motivations of the character without agreeing or resonating. right? So like, yeah, this is like a couple of different ideas here, but it's just weird because all this, I feel like a lot of this like socio-political stuff that's being like injected in, even trying to get passed on to kids, it's gonna stop them from being able to really enjoy popular works. Like, when I show my son comics, whether from like, DC, Marvel, Image, Dark Horse, because I'm not just talking about the big two, I read tons of indie stuff, and he's gonna get a chance to know those characters. It's not only gonna be characters that are black, it's gonna be just characters that are cool. I'm gonna let him choose what he wants to, what actually interests him. And I'm not gonna lean him toward a certain direction. And I'm not going to have him place such a huge emphasis on looks, even if we can agree that in the past history of this, specific country, race, I get why a lot of people are stuck on it. Racial identity was huge. And even right now, people are still focused on that. Doesn't make it okay from whatever direction. So maybe we should stop indoctrinating children to believe, it doesn't matter what spectrum you're on, to believe that this is like, that thing makes them special, and just understand that who they are. Look in the mirror and appreciate yourself. You don't need a fictional character to give you self-worth. You're already worth it. You don't need somebody in Disney to make you worth it. And I guess I was lucky enough to have parents who told me that, my family who told me that I was worth it, and that I never looked towards anything fictional. Hell, I didn't look for anybody else's validation to figure it out anyway. It's really just, how did I feel about myself? So let's try to spread this to our kids and have them enjoy tons of nerd stuff. Why not? Into the nerd.